Hey, Brian here with soshelmag. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys have no idea what this means for me. We are working super hard trying to kick this podcast off, and I couldn't do it without you, and I couldn't do it without the people that are helping me. Hannah is on this episode. She's helping with video and photography and just hanging out, really. And also my guests. My guests are great friends, great people that I've met over time. And the main guest, the number one guest for today's episode is SEVA. She is a very interesting person, has a great personality, and just gives off a lot of positive vibes. And you definitely want to be around her, and you definitely want to get to know her. So tune in. We just have so much fun on this episode. Like, we couldn't stop laughing. And it's because, I don't know, when you're around good people, when you're around good energy, it's legit just a great time. And we hope that you get to enjoy this podcast and giggle and laugh just like we did while we test food. We talk about SEVA's perspective and just where she's been all over the world. But make sure you follow her, make sure you check out her social media feeds, and make sure you give her a follow and a like and see where she ends up in the world. But thank you so much again for tuning in. I appreciate you. I hope you enjoy this one. Make sure you like this podcast. Make sure you subscribe, share it wherever you want to share it. Tell your friends about it. And if you think there is a person that I need to meet, that I need to sit down and just have some food with and have a great convo, please let me know. soshelmag is a platform, a podcast for you, for the community, and just for people with good vibes. So thank you. Enjoy with SEVA. I'm kind of cool off. But hey, welcome to another episode of the soshelmag podcast, where we interview really cool people that work out. We just interview cool people. I'm sweating because SEVA took me on a full 45-minute workout here.
2-minute workout. Yeah.
Dude, we did weights. We did like jumps and balls and hops and skips and a bike. Mm-hmm. That can't be done in 2 minutes.
Yes, I can.
It's probably like 10 minutes.
Time explaining
as Hannah
exercise.
as my witness. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Whew. All right, let's get into it. So, I want to introduce SEVA. She's a good friend of mine, and I've known her for like a year or so. But very interesting person. We're not gonna fully know who she is from one podcast, so you gotta follow her. You gotta follow me, see what she's all about, where she's traveling, all that good stuff. But let's get into it.
Let's do it. let's
give you a mic check.
Mic check.
There you go. All right, so SEVA, tell us like who you are. Who you are, why are you here, and tell your, what's your name? SEVA.
Severia
Narakuta.
Severia Narkuta.
There you go. Okay. Talk to me.
Who am I? That's a great question. I am a personal trainer, a photographer, videographer. I do art. I travel. I'm a former professional basketball player and NCAA basketball player.
Woo.
I know, man. We're gonna go play basketball next.
Hannah can do that.
All kinds of things. Yeah. And what are we doing here?
Yeah, I think this is a perfect setting, because I guess this is kind of where it all started for me and you.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think about it, as I'm literally tasting sweat right now.
Yeah.
Do you see this?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah. I'm so surprised you haven't taken a class yet.
Dude, I know. It's okay. Yeah, so first off, shout out to Mark for letting us use this space, and for SEVA to, I always call her SEVA because I think it's cooler. SEVA, like it's got like some spice to it, some international.
You know a funny thing about it that I just realized, like this past year, is that SEVA split in like two words in Spanish.
go.
SEVA means she goes.
I love that.
Which I'm
Dude,
like, duh.
create shirts,
Exactly.
man. You got to create a shirt. Seriously, because it's like
So,
about you
yeah.
and it's you.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So thank you. And then also big shout out to Hannah. You'll see her like come across the mic or so, but she's helping me out with some behind the scenes stuff. She does photos, video, everything. So you'll see her.
We'll see her. She's cool.
She's my witness for a 10-minute workout. Whew. Anyways, yeah. So Seva, tell us, a little bit about where you're from.
I'm originally from Lithuania. I moved to the United States when I was 16 to play basketball. So I played basketball in Lithuania, and I got a basketball agent recruited me to come to the US to play. I wanted to go when I was 14, but my parents had to wait till I turned 16, so I did. And like 4 days after I turned 16, I was on the plane to the United States.
Wow.
And then I lived in the US for 9.5 years, almost 10 years. And I graduated high school and college here. And I got my first job here. I worked at the Embassy of Lithuania for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And then after I was done working for the embassy and my US visa expired, I moved to South America. So for the past 2 years, I've been, on August 10th is going to be 2 years.
Traveling
exactly.
and just getting out and about.
Exactly.
That's crazy. What did you do at the embassy? Just like admin work? Or?
Pretty much. I was the executive assistant ambassador.
Ooh,
so got to do some cool stuff, some not so cool stuff, but
all around DC and like little
what
engagements, events, everything pretty much?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
That's so cool. Any memorable parts from that? Something that really stuck out?
I got to meet a lot of cool ambassadors and like senators and stuff. I got to like run events, which was fun. And I feel like that's where my like photography and videography career really started, because they didn't have anyone to run their social media. So I was responsible for that because I was the youngest person at the embassy and they had no clue how to do social media. So I took over all of their social media platforms and started making videos with my phone.
Oh, like what kind of videos? Like, hey, describe where we're at, things like that.
It was more, I feel like, event highlights and stuff. And then I like even attempted to make some graphics on Word, maybe. I don't know.
Wait, in Word?
Yeah, like I used some nothing. I cropped images and then put words on it and then added some shapes.
Nice. And it's kind of evolved from that. Did you do any video back then or no, not yet?
I did videos. I've been always very good with taking photos. So I would take photos for the events, but they would always be on my phone because I didn't own a camera back then. And so they were not great. They were like good photos, but not good quality. And I did videos, but I mean, maybe we can watch them one day.
Well, you kind of like describe who you are, but like it's always interesting to me, I think, when people ask like, what do you do? Like, and I never know the answer for that. And I know you don't know the answer for that.
I don't know the answer for that.
So like, how do you describe yourself to someone like, say, Hannah, and they're like, hey, cool. What do you do? What do you typically say?
I normally just like see how the person follows with my answer. So I normally just start with that I do photos and videos, and then if they're like, oh, like where, what kind, and then I'm like, I work at the gym, and then it's normally like that's where people start getting lost, and it's just like my train of thought is also like, and I'm like, well, I work at the gym as a personal trainer, and then I do photos and videos as well, so like fitness related, but I also do it on the side, and I also like sell my drawings when I'm in South America. And they're like, wait, you're in South America? What are you doing here? And then it goes to, well, I'm originally from Lithuania, but I moved to the United States to play basketball when I was 16. I kind of stayed here. And then I moved to South America like 2 years ago, but I work remotely and I do all of these freelance contractor kind of type things. So I do everything and anything.
That's like the convo we had when we first physically met. And I was just in the car, and I'm literally, I think we had to go somewhere for like 20 minutes away, or no, 30 minutes away. I think you talked the whole time. And I was just like,
I love talking.
I was like, wait, I'm so curious. Like, wait, you live down there, you're here, and then you do this and that. I'm just like, what's happening right now? I thought it's so interesting. You're like one of the most interesting people.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No.
I'm an
she's
actress
sweating.
too.
Yeah, she's also an actress. She was in Lithuanian movies called SEVA and F45 on the Move, Volume 2. But yeah, let's. I guess I just want to talk about like how we kind of met. All right, and
before you do that.
Before we do that, go ahead.
I did do what's it called? When you like
acting?
But when you like casting.
Oh, okay.
When I was in Argentina before I came back, one of my friends is an actor, and he was like, I'm gonna do casting for like this like commercial or whatever, and it's like sports related, so do you want to be in it?
Were you
so
in
we
it?
did casting together, and we didn't get to the next step because I couldn't have worked there because I didn't have a work visa. So they were like, she cannot like work there, and I guess
That's
he didn't get
cool.
the role, but I did casting once.
I like that. You can put that on the resume.
I know. I would. I will.
That's so funny. As I'm watching these people work out, did they work out the whole time on that screen right there?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I mean, it's like a 2-second video that just keeps on
looping.
replaying.
Sorry, I got the ADD. I lose attention.
It's Corey and Morgan. Morgan is the
these are
Olympian.
your friends. Oh,
not
cool.
really. She's an Olympian, Australian Olympian, and Corey is the face of F45.
Dang.
So,
Is this a real person?
yeah, they both.
He's
are.
been doing squats and high knees for like the last 2 hours.
I
That's
know,
impressive.
very fit.
He's very fit. No rest needed. He's throwing these balls down, going side to side.
It's the nightmare of yours.
Oh my God, did I just work out? That's crazy.
For 2 minutes, like Corey over there doesn't take a rest day.
He's like going. He's just going. Oh man. Anyways, yeah. So this was interesting because I think I was, I'm doing my thing. I've been doing what I'm doing.
The weights are coming after you.
Hannah is gonna fall down at some point throughout this thing. It's like the second time she ran into something. But yeah. So there was, you guys were doing an event outside by like the monument or something, and I was like,
The
oh, dude,
National.
that's a yearly thing that you guys do, right?
We do it like once per month, every summer, pretty much. So there's one coming up on August 5th. But yeah, we do a joint boot camp of most of our F45 studios in the area. And so like the last one that we did last month had like over 100 people at it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So you did that. You guys were doing that like, I want to say 2 years ago. No, 2 years ago maybe. And I saw it and I was like, yo, no. I was like, hey, let me do a video for you guys. And I didn't know that you were handling like every F45 account that I think messaged. You're like, yeah, hey, it's me too. Hey, it's SEVA. I'm on this one too. Hey.
Hey, stop messaging us.
I was like,
just
Jesus.
DM me on my personal account.
Yeah. And so I was like, man, okay, so you weren't even here. And then you're like, yeah, come out. And so I did this video. And then I'm like, you're like, oh, I'm not going to be there. I'm like, okay, so who do I talk to? And you like introduced me to all these people, and it's cool. Yeah. And then we just like, oh, cool, going back and forth on DMs. And it wasn't until like just a couple of months ago, maybe last month, you're like, hey, I'm finally coming back. I'm like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to like meet you, know?
In person.
Yeah, in person.
I know. It felt like I've known you though.
I know.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like we went to like this Turkish coffee place, walked around. SEVA just talks to everyone. We documented, told me a story about this guy painting and you going into his house.
In Colombia, yes. Pretty dope.
Yeah, that's on the YouTube Social Mag channel, which you can hear all about that. So yeah, that's interesting. So like language, I think it's very interesting. I just want to like transition into this language. You're a person of so much culture, so much art. Like, did English was not your first language?
No, Lithuanian was my first language, and I guess the second language was Russian. That was introduced to me because Lithuania, like everyone, my parents used to speak Russian to each other when I was little, so I don't understand what they're saying. So it was kind of a motivation for all the kids my age growing up to learn at least a little bit of Russian so we can understand what our parents have to say. Like,
Do you still know some Russian?
I do. I don't really use it and try to avoid it, especially these days. But yeah, I do. Like, there are a lot of Russians in Argentina where I currently live. So I would be standing at Western Union and I just hear Russian. So I take my headphones out to like see if they're not talking about me. But yeah, and then English. But we started learning in Lithuania. We started taking English classes in like second grade.
Yeah.
And then it just really depends on your school, how well you learn. So I didn't I understood English. I didn't speak well when I moved to the US. I feel like I would just be guessing what people are saying and just answering yes or no. Like, I remember going to the grocery store and they were like, "Did you find everything all right?" And I'm like, I have no idea what they said. And I was like, "No." Like, thinking that they probably asked if I need anything else or like whatever. And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh, okay. What can we help you with?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand." But it was interesting times. So I understood some, but it was hard when people spoke fast, and it took some time to transition. School was pretty hard the first year. I had no idea. I plagiarized the first paper. I copied everything off of Wikipedia and like submitted it, and they called my American family and they were like, "Someone just plagiarized the entire thing. Like, she just copied like word to word from Wikipedia."
You're like, "But it was in English."
It was. I used to do that in Lithuania. It worked every single time. I'm like, "Oh man, these people actually read your papers, I guess."
So you speak Lithuanian, Russian, English. How did you start speaking Spanish?
Moving to South America, I took some Spanish in high school and I think maybe college, but I didn't really learn much. And then moving to South America, I didn't take any classes or didn't go anywhere to actually like be learning, but just living surrounded by Spanish speaking people, it like slowly started coming to me and started understanding more and more and more until like maybe half a year ago, I was like finally comfortable with speaking. So it's like little by little, I didn't put much effort in it besides like naturally like learning Spanish.
But
there.
You could hear like when they speak, you can pick it up regardless of how quickly they're talking now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And also like different accents and everything, because pretty much every single country in South America has a different accent.
Yeah.
So moving countries, like when you go to Chile, it's like, I don't know, Colombians, Ecuadorians would have a hard time understanding Chileans. And it's, like I would still talk to my taxi drivers. I'm just like, "Hey, you and your accent, you guys need to chill." But
get out of the car.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really doable. Argentina too, they have a different accent.
Do you, your nephew, does he know multiple languages too?
No, he only knows English. And he knows like one word in Spanish, which is babysito. And he knows, because I call him babysito, and I try to teach him that babysita is like a feminine version of babysito. And so I'm like, I always say, "Tizzy is babysita. What are you?" And he's like, "Babysito." And I'm like, great. That's how far we have gotten.
Okay, at least he knows something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Have you gotten in a situation where it's like people thought you didn't know, but then you're like, "Hey, I know what you're saying"?
Oh yeah. There was, I feel like when I was coming back home, like I come back here like a year ago, I was on the plane and people behind me were Spanish speaking people, and they like talked the entire flight, and I thought their conversation was very interesting, so I kept on listening, and I wanted to interrupt, but I was like, "So stop, you're like sitting in front of them, don't turn around and start talking."
Wait a minute. Just wanted to
just wanted to add to that, in my opinion. But so when we got off the plane, I already knew where they were going, and so I kind of like hunted them down, and I knew that they were trying to find the metro. We landed in like BWI, and they were looking for the metro, and I was like, "You guys are looking for the metro, right? I can take you there." And they're like,
You said that in Spanish?
I said it in English, and they were like, "How did you know?" And I was like, "Oh, I speak Spanish, so I heard your conversation on the plane." And they were like, "Okay." But like I walked them to the metro and like put them on the metro and like helped them buy the tickets and everything. And then we did like a mixture of Spanish and English as we spoke.
That's so funny. You're like kind of like me, because I can talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I feel like, and you can too. And that was our trip in Old Town Alexandria. We were literally just like talking to we met like 8 people. I think you got like 10 follows on IG.
I know, yeah.
We were just like,
Just
"Hey, what's up? Yeah,
walking
go
the
follow."
streets.
Yeah. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Exactly.
Kind of deal. That was so cool. But I do remember when I was in the Philippines, like I would get ripped off. I was telling someone this other day in the cabs. You know, they wouldn't give me my change back. So in my language, I'd be like, "Hey, you owe me money," and they're like, "What?" They're like, "What?" So that I was like, "Yeah, give me my change back." Happened all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting language. Are you picking up any other languages?
Probably Portuguese, because I went to, I mean, like not right now, but like when I moved to Portugal, Brazil, bom dia.
Yeah.
But I have already met some Brazilian people when I was in Brazil, but also when I just like in Argentina, met like a bunch of Brazilian people, and we became friends, and we were sitting at the restaurant one night, and it was just Brazilians and me, and some of them spoke some English, some of them spoke some Spanish, but mainly like Portuguese. And because I was the only one who was like outside of the group, they were like still speaking Portuguese, and I was like, "Okay, guys, teach me some phrases." And so they would start teaching me some phrases, but then like at the end of like sitting and drinking Aperol Spritz with them for like 3 hours, I was like, "Oh, I know exactly what you're saying." And they're like, "Oh, you're ready to go to Brazil?" I'm like, "Oh, I know, I'm so ready." But like my 3 sentences, but it still sounds like Spanish. Like you can like pick up some things and like put it together. You know, they might be pronounced differently. Oh, and in Portuguese, you know how they say TikTok?
TikTok.
Chiquitoki. You know how they say WhatsApp? WhatsApp.
What?
Facebook is Facebook.
Because of the letters? Or
it's just that's the weirdest thing.
Facebook, TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
Chiquitoki. Chiquitoki. I don't know where does the T from the beginning like it just disappears, but it becomes Chiquitoki.
That is interesting. I didn't know that.
WhatsApp.
Say how wasabi. Wasabi. That's interesting. What do you call this? So have you pretty much covered South America?
Yes. So Mexico, Ecuador, Colombia, Peru, Chile, Bolivia,
Brazil.
I've been to the corner of Brazil, but I'm gonna move there next, so I'm gonna live there for 6 months, so I will get to know Brazil. Argentina, yeah. So I have like a couple of countries left. Like once I go to Brazil, so I'm gonna go to Paraguay on my way back to Argentina this time. So I'm gonna go back to Bolivia for a couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna cross the border to Paraguay and spend some time in Paraguay. And then from Paraguay, I'm gonna fly finally back to Argentina, and then once I move to Brazil, I'm gonna visit like the northern countries that I left. So like in the corner, like Venezuela and like whatever they have up there. I'll finish the continent with those countries because I have like pretty much everything else covered.
And you're bringing your bike, or you have
I'm
your
bringing my
bike?
So my bike is in Argentina currently, but yeah. I'm probably going to move over the border to Brazil by bus because that would be so cheap. And
you're just going to hold on to the bus on your bike?
No, I'm just going to put the bike in the trunk, which is nice. Yeah, so...
They actually have storage for bikes? Is it in the front? Or?
No, they normally, like, all the times that I've been on the bus with a bike, they just like put it under the bus, which is, but they let me board first. There have been so many times I was in Uruguay and I was gonna go back to Argentina. And I like came to the bus stop and I already had my ticket, but there was this line of people because people there like to line up and wait for the bus, kind of like to get the best seats or whatever. But their seats are already assigned. I really don't know why, but they're like lined up. And I came with my bike and I'm not even like trying to talk to anyone. I'm just like standing there with my bike. And they started boarding the bus, and like the first thing that they do, I'm like not even getting in the line because I'm like, it's so far, I'm just gonna wait till everyone boards and like go take that last seat. They go, girl with a bike, come first. And everyone just goes like
Pissed.
and I was like,
Like, sorry, I don't speak English only.
no. If you say that, I feel like that would just make things so much worse.
That's so funny.
But yeah, so I got to get on the bus first. So it has its cons.
That's amazing. But anyways, so we got that. You got traveling, like your bike. Talk to me about your bike. What got you bike riding?
So I've had a bike since I was little, since I can remember pretty much. I probably got roller skates first because I own those in South America too.
Do you know how to? Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, not roller skates. They're like what? Inline skates?
No, roller skates is like the four, like a.
Yeah, so they're not the four. They're like inline.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So I got those as my probably first. Maybe I already had a bike. I don't know, but like pretty early. I probably had roller skates since I was 4 and like a bike since I was 4. And growing up in Lithuania, we had a beach house which had beautiful bike trails connected to like all the beach towns around. And my family would always bike, so I learned how to bike, and we would go on these long bike rides. What back then seemed long to me, it would be like an hour bike ride of like 10 kilometers.
Is that what, like 7 miles or something?
Yeah, maybe like
7.
Yeah, 6 possibly, but like which like felt like so long to me. And then I moved to when I moved to the US, I feel like I always lived in big cities where I could use Capital Bike Share bikes and like stuff like that. What do we have here in DC? And then when I moved to South America, I was like, I feel like I need a bike. So in Ecuador, I kind of like pushed through it. And like I had that thought because Ecuador was my first country where I moved and like lived long term. And I lived in a small town. So I ended up making friends who had a bike, and like they would let me use it. So I would like go on bike rides and just like use their bikes. But then when I moved to Colombia, I lived in Bogota, and I think that Bogota has the best developed infrastructure for biking in like actually the world that I've seen. Like, and I've been to like Denmark and like Copenhagen, like all of those places that like people are like, oh, these are bike cities and like bike countries. And to be honest, nothing beats Bogota. It's insane. And my one of my friends worked for the government, and especially in that field for developing the infrastructure for biking in Bogota. And so I got to like learn all the insights and like all the cool information about it. And they do ciclovia every Sunday, which is where they close. That. Yeah, which is they close like 100 miles of roads everywhere in Bogota, and people can just go biking from 6 a.m. to like 2 p.m. every Sunday, like no exceptions. And it's amazing. So when I moved there and the roads were so good, there were bike lanes everywhere. People were so respectful of bikers, and just, you know, I was like, I need a bike. Yeah. And I found this very cool bike shop that lets you design your own bike. And I went in there and I was like, I want a bike. So I designed my own bike. It's pink. You have seen it, but it's bright pink and has like shiny bike handles and everything. So cool. I get so many compliments on that bike. I've never gotten that many compliments on anything else in my life.
That's your color, pink?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It just gets so many compliments and it's so much attention.
Do you actually remember when you like learned to ride a bike? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I feel like I have photos, which is funny. My first bike that I had was purple with orange, but like bright purple. Ooh. And like kind of my bike is like it's pink, but I feel like I call it pink because of the handles, but actually it's like more of a purple kind of shade. So it's very similar color to the bike that I have now, and I'm like so happy about it. But yeah, it was like a very bright bike and with like orange handles and everything. And I remember falling off of it right after they took a picture of me like riding the bike. But yeah, I was maybe like when they actually took the picture, I was 5. But yeah, I feel like I started learning when I was 4.
When did you ride a bike with just like 2 wheels?
Like probably 5, 6. Yeah, early. Yeah, yeah. But because I've had a bike my like almost entire life.
Dude, I learned in like 6th grade. Yeah, dude,
That's sad.
dude, the first time I got a bike, and I remember like my dad like gave it to me. But then I only had it for like a day, and he only put 1 training wheel on it.
What?
Yeah, he
what
had
good does that do?
1 training wheel. So I'm like, when I had it, I'm like,
so you were forcing yourself to go
I was
sideways?
like, dude, what the heck? Yeah, and then we couldn't take the bike home, and I was just like, all right, cool. And so, like a family friend who came over all the time, their dad taught me how to ride a bike. It got me like a bike and was, holding the back seat. And then he's like, all right, keep going. And he let go. I was like, holy crap. I'm like in 6th grade. I'm like, wow. All right.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. And then it like went, I was like riding BMXs. I had inline skates. I was like skating everywhere, jumping. Like I was out all the time. I was like, this is so sick.
I photographed these kids in Bogota that do like BMX bikes. And we also like work together with that friend of mine because when they do ciclavia, those kids would just be riding their bikes, but they were crazy good. They would be like standing on the rim of the like bike or just standing on the seat and like no hands, just their feet. And these like we're talking like teenagers or like I would like see like 11, 12-year-olds, like just like doing it. But it was pretty dangerous because they would be so close to where like the ciclavia roads would be. So people would get, these kids they know that they're not going to crash into anyone. But like people who are biking, they're like, what?
Where was that one mountain that you like? Walk us through that, please, from like the beginning, the why,
and Bolivia.
And like what were you thinking? And I think you got some help from some people, right?
Yeah. Oh no. So the 2 different stories. But
my bad,
I did the Death Road, which is the most dangerous road to like in general in the world. So it's back in the day, my friends are from Bolivia, so their mom told me a story how when she was young, they used to actually take that road to get places, and it was just like so many people have died on there because it has no rails or anything, and it's just like it had no lights,
just a cliff,
nothing, just a cliff, and it's so tall, and the roads would be so narrow that like because even like now when I was going, like I could barely get there with a bike through it, but like back then the cars would go there, and so like buses have driven off of it, like it's crazy, and since there would be no lights, it would be so hard to navigate. But now they have closed it for traffic with cars, but it's open for like tours with bikes. And you can go biking there, and like just like you get to the top, they like the tour brings you because you cannot go there without the tour really, and for safety reasons. And then you get your own bike and you kind of bike down.
You kind of bike down?
You kind of bike down because it's like you're not biking. You're just like, you're constantly on brakes. So I went with the cheapest company that I could find because obviously I'm poor. And so it was like $30 for this like entire day trip, including the bus ride of like an hour to get there, like lunch, like everything, drinks included. Yeah. And then the entire biking, like gear and all that. And then afterwards, they took us to get like dinner, and there was like a 3-hour ride back because we biked on the other side of the mountain. So then we had to drive around. But so my bike broke as I was biking down the death road. My chain fell off like completely.
As you were going down?
Yeah, because it's just like I also jumped. So they were mountain bikes, and what I own is a road bike. So it's like not like soft. And with this mountain bike, I'm just like jumping over these rocks and everything. And after me jumping, it was just an old bike. So the chain fell off, and I was like, wait, guys, I think my chain fell off. So like we stop, and everyone around me, like every other person in the group are like terrified. They're like, what the fuck? Like how, like, oh my God, like how is this like even, like what? Like this is so unsafe. And I'm like, it's kind of me. Like I should have been jumping. Like it's fine. And I'm like, you guys could just take it off completely. I'm like, I don't need the chain. It's like, it's not like I'm biking, you know, like why do I need the chain? Like I'm just going on brakes. And they're like, no, we're gonna put it back. So they put it back on, and then it fell off 2 more times on my way back, like down. So like your hands are shaking, like everything is just like you're constantly going down, and it's just rocks. Like waterfalls going over the road, like it's just insane. But it was so beautiful. The views were insane. But I wish I went by myself. They took my GoPro away. Like
why?
Like I tried. Like, I wanted to have it with me, but I wanted to have it on the stick, so I wanted to hold it with like one hand. And they were like,
you're nuts.
Seba, you cannot have that. And I was like, I'm like seriously, but like look, it's fine. Like I have a video of like my GoPro still
like
being on.
Flying
I'm like,
100
no,
miles
it's
an
still
hour.
fine. And they're like, no, you cannot take that on the road. So that was that. And then also in Bolivia, I went to Salar de Uyuni, and which is the biggest salt flats in the world. And
that was sick.
That was the place where I also really wanted to bike. So I was kind of going there, and I only had like a couple of days, and I knew that it was like an overnight bus with no bathroom, nothing on it. Also like $5. And
Yo, set this girl up with the fun so she can do shit.
And so I got to Salar de Uyuni and like dropped off my bag at a hostel. And I was like, I'm just going to go walk around the city and like the town and try to find a bike rental place. Because I read that there were like maybe 2 bike rental places. And so I pop into the shop, and I'm like, hey guys, are you renting bikes, or do you only do tours? Because I don't want a tour. Like I don't want to be like a regular tourist going on a tour. I was like, I want a bike, and I want transportation to Salar de Uyuni because it's like 20 miles away from the town. And I was like, I want someone to drop me off there so I can spend the entire day biking. And then if someone could pick me up after the sunset, that would be great. And they just like looked at me, and they're like, we don't do that. And I was like, okay, can I talk to someone? Like, and then so this guy, the owner of the shop, like he comes out and he's like, I kind of like you. So what are you trying to do? And I was like, I just like don't want to do a tour. I want to do my own thing. And I feel like I really want to bike on Salar de Uyuni because it's a wonderful place. It seems like it is. And I just want to bike. I don't have my own bike. So can you give me a bike and can we go? And he was like, sure. So he like agrees to like drive me there. But before we even go, he's like, okay, let's go to my house. I'll get you like a better bike. And he was like, do you have boots? Because I told him that I take photos. And he was like, do you have boots? Because there are going to be on the Salar de Uyuni, they have their wet and dry seasons. So it was like the middle, it was the seasons that were changing. So there were some wet parts still that looked like the mirror of like everything, and some dry parts. So he was like, when you're in the wet parts, you're going to want the boots so you can go and take photos. And he was like, do you have them? And I was like, no. And he was like, okay, let's go to my house. I'll give you a new bike. I'll give you boots.
Yo, you're nuts,
and
dude.
I'll take you there. And then like, so we go there. I meet his wife and his children and like stuff. Jose was great. Greetings, Jose, if you ever watch this.
Jose.
Yeah. And so I met his kids, and I was like, you should take your kids. I was like, I'll take photos of you guys on like Salar when you drop me off. So he took his kids, and his kids are learning how to speak English. His English was great. So we spoke English, and I like talked to the kids, and then they like dropped me off. He gave me directions on like where I could go that would be biking distance, because Salar is like hundreds of miles. It's like huge. And then he like picked me up in the evening, and we stayed in touch till this day. He actually texted me today that his phone broke, and he was like, can you send me the pictures of my kids that he took? And it was like literally today. And I was like, yeah, I'll send it to you tonight.
No, you will not.
But
so cool.
And yeah, and then like, I met this guy in Argentina who's from Germany originally, and he was going to Bolivia to Salar de Uyuni. And I was like, I have a friend in Salar de Uyuni. His name is Jose. You should go meet him. 1, like you're gonna love him. 2, like he'll give you like guidance and directions and everything. He's just like a really helpful guy. And my friend ended up going on like a 3-day tour with Jose, like around the Uyuni. So yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. That's what it's about, man. Like people. And just doing what you want. I love that. Like I went to New York last week and got lost. Like my goal was to get lost and meet people, and spend as much time
Yeah.
with people and get to know them. So like, how do you keep track of all the people you meet? Do you have like a system, or are you just like, no,
I don't have
like
a
people's
system.
names?
I feel like social media probably. Like I get all of them on social media, and then they all just like keep up with me and reach out.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
talking about this, I need to think of my Canadian friends, and then like I get all of these people just like messaging me, and they're like, "Hey, do you know anyone in this or that country?" So I had a friend that I met in Argentina, and she messaged me yesterday, and she was like, "Do you have any friends in Canada that I could get in touch with, and maybe like
Yeah.
get some like tips from them and like whatever." And sometimes it's like housing, like I meet all kinds of people that like are willing to host people, are willing to like help out, like whatever. So it's very nice to be like that connecting point between people and places.
And then you're going on a trip soon here, right?
Yeah.
I wish I could go. I really want to.
I
but
know you were invited.
I know. I was like, I hope am I still on that group chat?
You might.
I might.
I don't think
Has
I
it been
did.
activated? I might say what's up on there. But hey guys, sorry. Yeah, I gotta say hi.
Yeah,
On that thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that trip is gonna be awesome.
I know. I'm super excited. I'm going to Costa Rica and then Guatemala. So Costa Rica 2 weeks and Guatemala for a week.
Hannah's going.
Hannah is going? You coming?
All expenses paid by Brian.
Yeah, let's go. It's actually pretty cheap. Like
It's pretty cheap.
a round trip flight was like $350,
Mm-hmm.
and then food there you said was like
Cheap.
yeah.
It's pura vida, as they say.
Dude, and
easy life.
And the housing's already covered.
Yeah,
right?
the
So,
housing is covered, so you
man.
just gotta make your way
Dude,
there.
this Airbnb is sick. It was insane.
Yeah.
Like I might still do it. We'll see.
You still can come for a couple of days.
That's a long flight for a couple days though. It's like
8
12 hours.
hours.
8?
Hey, if you get a good flight.
How long is it taking you? Well, I'm gonna take a bus to the airport
Yeah,
because you're flying.
you have to like have a layover. If you don't have a layover, it's probably like 5
It is.
straight up, like
Yeah,
4.
the flight I saw was like American. It was direct, and it was like $350
Oh,
round
okay,
trip. I should
okay.
have booked it.
Yeah, it should have. I feel like none of my friends really got direct flights. So I think my sister is flying from Texas direct flight. That's shorter, but
And breaking things.
but yeah.
But yeah, that's so cool. Thanks for sharing all that. By the way, it's
Of
really
course.
interesting, and I'm sure you have a lot more stories to share.
So many.
But like, let's talk food for a second, because I always like to incorporate like some sort of food.
Okay.
And we're in the gym, and I know Mark will probably be like, "Why are you eating in there?" But
I'm just drinking coffee.
is that him outside?
No.
I can't see. I don't have my glasses.
Please zoom in on that.
Wait, that is not him. My bad. I was like, I don't have my glasses.
Oh, Mark will be thrilled.
Oh man, I was like, wait, why is he wearing a hoodie back there? Anyway, sorry. It looks because he's wearing the red, the green. I was like,
The red, the green. Can you look
or
at
the
it?
red and the blue. I mean,
Where's the green?
oh shit, he's looking at it. Dude. Chicken, watch up. You have watch up or whatever.
Watch is happy.
Watch us happy. Watch us happy. Watch us happy. Oh man. Yeah. So talk about your food. Like, so you're a health nut, I feel like, or you don't really have to think about it because you're always out and about, right?
I'm always out and about, but there's this. So in South America, most countries have Rappi, which is like Uber Eats or whatever, but it's way cheaper, and I love that thing. So I order from it like a lot, and in Colombia, I used to order from it all the time because like the meals are huge, and you get like a $6 thing with like soup and the main and like a dessert for like $6, so it lasts me throughout the entire day. In Argentina, it like really depends in like different countries. In Ecuador, I used to like live in a very small town, so I would just like leave for the day, and like I knew all the local restaurant owners, so like it was very nice because like I would get a bunch of free food, I would get like a bunch of free coffee.
Did you know like the people handing food, like
Like the locals just
yeah,
like
or
working.
or whoever was like working there or delivering you the food.
Oh yeah. I like it, the town was so small that I knew everyone in Ecuador, and yeah, so that was pretty dope too. So I got to like eat at all the places, get discounts and stuff. And then when I moved to Argentina, I feel like Argentina is more like, I live in Buenos Aires, so Buenos Aires is so big, and I normally like go out to get food or like somewhere on the streets. And the thing that I fell in love with in Buenos Aires is empanadas, so Argentinian empanadas. Like my next tattoo is gonna be an empanada. Just saying. I have been comparing them to all the empanadas around like other countries, South America, and I'm like, nothing compares. So my Argentinian friends are very happy with all my posts when I talk about empanadas around the world. I'm like, still nothing beats Argentina empanadas.
There's a place there I could take you.
Are with Argentina empanadas, or are they like Chilean? I don't want Chilean.
They're Argentinian. Yeah, a guy in Union Market, a friend of mine. He's been there for like a year. They serve Argentina empanadas and Argentinian beer.
Wow, that would be cool. Yeah, I would totally go. In Bolivia, I had salteñas, and my friends send a post that there is a Bolivian place opening up that has salteñas in like somewhere, I don't remember where, but like maybe
there's
like
one in
DuPont,
Columbia. There's one in Columbia Park.
Yeah. Yeah, already open. Are they Bolivian?
Yeah. Have you ever been over the bridge over there?
Oh no, I don't go over.
Dude, there's so many cool spots, like authentic small mom and pop shops.
We should go. We should
get on a bike.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Really, and like also I don't eat meat, so it's kind of like everyone is like, oh, you're in Argentina, they're like asado is the best, like this and that, and I don't eat meat, but it's been fine. Every single place that I've been to has vegetarian options, and I mean I eat a lot of cheese like when I'm there, because like if they don't have anything without meat, at least they will have something with cheese. But in Ecuador, I love their pan de yuca, so like their yuca little balls, like just like so good. I could just like eat them nonstop, and it's just like nice having like coconuts and everything like everywhere. They just like cut the coconut open.
Yeah, that's it. I love that. So I have a surprise for you.
A surprise? Empanadas?
No. So I was so I wanted to like it's like it's food, but it's not like a gift, you know. So like I wanted to give food and stuff because that's kind of what I think food brings people together, and that's a corporation or whatever. So I went across the street at this place that sucks. Because I was like, yo, do you have any? First off, I had my camera. It's like
Five Below.
Five Below. Yeah. Got you a couple snacks from over there. I think they just have a ton of candy and stuff. But in Lidl or whatever, I went in there with my gear, and the manager, I don't know, this guy would like, hey, you can't film in here. We have a policy. And I was like, bro, I'm really looking for food. And I go, you know what? Hey, do you have vegan options? And he's like, oh, I couldn't even say, no, not the store. And I was like, why not the store? And he's like, I'm like, yeah, shut the fuck up. Let me do my thing. So here we go. This is the only vegan option foods that I found. All right. Here we go. We're going to try these mango slices.
Love mangoes.
Okay. Don't judge me, dude. I did my best. I walked in there for a while.
Oh, you went to Lidl. That's a European store.
Oh, Lidl?
Yeah.
Well, that place sucks over there.
What? I love that place.
Dude, go over there. That location sucks.
Maybe. They just opened. Give them a break.
No.
They're probably still figuring out.
But I'm trying to get vegan options for SEVA. It's got to be right. Apple rings.
Wow. All of these look great.
Really? And from there, it kind of went downhill.
From there?
Yeah. So I just got baby food. We got apple and mango.
It really did go downhill.
Pear, strawberry. We're going to taste these.
I love baby food. Work makes the dream work. Just strip it.
Wait. Hold that. Look, hold this.
Why are you putting trash on my photo?
Dude, I'm telling you. Now you're getting mad. Man, Anna's mean.
Yeah, you are. want to see me mad.
Here, have a mango.
Thank you.
Oh, come on.
Have you guys had Costco mangoes?
I think I have it.
They're so good. It's $11 for a big bag.
I love the Trader Joe's ones, but
Wow.
they're more expensive. But
Yeah,
What
what do you think?
it's good.
Yeah, but
you know, you've had better drugs.
yeah, like these are okay. But yeah, it's good. That's not bad. It's a good snack.
When I first moved from Lithuania to the United States, my American mom used to like pack us snacks for school, and I guess she had bought a bag of snacks that was like old, like it was standing in the store for too long, and like it was granola bars, and she packed them up for us for lunch, and I was eating it, and there was like not a worm. What do you call them when the baby worm is?
Maggot.
Yes, maggot inside. And when
Maggots? There is a baby. That's not a baby worm. It's a maggot.
So I broke that piece with a baby worm, and I just continued eating the
good.
the granola bar. And my American sister looked at me and she was like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "Well, the other part is probably good. Like
What if there's
it's
eggs in
fine." It was. I don't know. Well, I didn't see the baby, so like I just like ate it, and like I would do that thing all the time, like for like years. It was just like in Lithuania, I guess like we would just eat whatever.
What's ever on the ground?
So like,
pick it
yeah,
up?
like whatever.
So if I drop this down there, you would eat.
Definitely.
No.
Definitely.
No.
Yes.
Yo, this place.
Yeah.
People sweat and.
Oh, this is
That's fine.
This is soft.
Dude, yeah. When I already tried one. Yeah, when I picked this up, I was like, "This is unique," and I'm digging this.
I thought this was gonna be
Hard, right?
yeah, chips. Apple chips are really good.
Oh, it's unsweetened too.
See, in Lithuania we do have these. They're always soft.
Not bad, guys.
Baby food.
Did you get one for each of us?
Yeah, we can try. What do you want, Hannah?
You can pick up a flavor for me to try.
Apple sweet potato.
Sure.
Oh God. Apple mango, Hannah. What's yours? Mango, apple, banana, avocado, and kale. All right, these are for 6 to 12 months.
And how many months are you?
Definitely not that. I'm like a couple hundred.
Couple hundred a month.
Couple.
You guys have
Maybe I'm in the thousands.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, snap. Like
Cheers.
mango, apple, banana. Here we go.
Apple sweet potato.
So that's good for kids. Product of Chile.
How was it?
It's great. It's very good. Your face.
Dude, it's 99 cents.
That's good to carry around.
Those are all the vegan options.
I don't believe it, but
how-
okay.
Dude, I swear to God, we'll go right after this. I'm not even joking.
He's like, yo, fuck so.
Yeah.
We're gonna get her the cheapest shit. It's probably
And she's gonna like it.
She lives in South America. She'll be fine.
Yeah, she's gonna love it.
She eats food off the first try.
Right, exactly. And
This is very, very interesting.
have you never had this before?
She probably had baby food, right?
When I was a baby, yeah, maybe. I don't eat baby food anymore, which is
Really?
you like baby food?
It's like a normal thing for you, or
You eat baby food?
Yeah, I like it's so easy to carry. Like in Lithuania, I would get them in like they would have them in like glass containers. So like you would have to get a spoon. They were not as advanced.
So you're eating actual baby food.
Yeah,
interesting.
but it was the same thing.
She's looking at me like I'm.
You're not eating baby food? Yo, what is wrong with you, Hannah?
It's cheap and it's nutritious.
Yeah, no, you're right. I feel good. I mean, apple rings and
No.
Sweet potato.
dude, it's great. All right, I'm glad we did that. Enjoyable. So I guess let's get a little deeper here. We got like 5 minutes left on this thing. So like, what? I don't know. You seem to be always happy. What is that funny?
No, that's it. That's a nice.
So like,
Nice,
what
nice.
gets you going? Like, what keeps the momentum going, the mind clear? I know, life is hard. I get stressed out. Like, what makes you happy? What keeps you going?
Um, I really think always been kind of a happy person in general. I think I find things to be happy about at all times, but I feel like especially these past 2 years, I feel like I've been pretty much stress free. And I think it's getting to live in countries where people have so little, and it's just like seeing how happy you can be with having very little and doing little but like fully enjoying it. And I think that's what like really started changing my mindset. And it's, like being here in the United States, people are always like hustling, doing things. It's like you can never be doing enough. Like you always have to be doing more. And I remember when I moved to Ecuador, I it was crazy because people would just be like sitting and doing nothing. Like the one of the first people that I met was this guy, and like I was having breakfast at his place, and I was like, okay, I gotta go. Like I have a meeting in like an hour, blah blah whatever. And I was like, what are you doing today? And he's like, just gonna sit here, drink coffee, watch the waves, and when the waves get good, I'm gonna go surf. I'm like, okay, cool. So what do you do for a living? Because we're just met. And he's like, surf. I'm like, oh, so the waves pay you? Because I'm like, I was just like,
How are you
I'm like,
doing this?
what are you like even saying? Like, you don't make sense. Like, why? Like, I'm like, what actually? Like, what do you do? And he's like, like during the season, I take photos of people and like, like take photos of surfers, and they like pay me, but then I make enough money to like live for the next like half a year or whatever, and then he does nothing. And I'm like, okay, so like how much, like, and then he house sits, so like I'm like, how much do you get paid? And he's like $100 per month, and he just like lives out of that $100 every month, and like whatever he has made but like during the summer season. And it was just like so hard for me to wrap my head around how like $100 could be enough for you. But then on the other hand, like he was the calmest, the happiest person that I met, And I feel like I just like for me to be okay with not doing anything and like enjoying the moment and like being like, this is fine. Like, are you happy? You are. So then like, why do you need to do anything else? Like, do you have enough food? Like, you do have money for food for tomorrow, for today? Well, that's all that matters. Like, you don't, like, I hate that saying, like, oh, you don't know what, like, if tomorrow is promised or like whatever. But like, really, when you think about it, like, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's like, are you fine today? Do you think you're going to be fine tomorrow? Then like, that's really all that matters. So I feel like enjoying the moment and like really appreciating people around you, because I feel like people bring me the most happiness. And seeing people happy and knowing that like we can radiate that energy off of each other and like give and take, it's like it can be an equal exchange, is what keeps me happy.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer.
Thank you.
That was great. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Like,
Yeah.
for me, yeah, I am. Like, I seriously cannot sit at home. Well, obviously, like I live in a basement apartment. It's like dark in there, and like I'm very fortunate for my situation as well. But it's I feel like when I'm around people, I'm just like alive. Even when like I'm kind of down, it's cool because like other people like have a story to tell, and it's just like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And so like when I talk to people and hear what they're doing and what they want to achieve, I'm like, dude, I want to go there with you. Like, I want to meet really cool people that are supportive. I want to meet people that, just want to achieve cool things. Like, don't get me wrong, money is important, but similar to you, like, it's not important at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool eating ramen and like making my own shit, or I don't know. Things come and go, and it's just, you gotta enjoy what's outside.
Yeah. It's also like living in the wild, like when it's things around you. And like I have eaten so many things off the trees that I didn't even know were like edible and stuff like that. And you just like walk around and you're like, if I did not have any money, I would be fine for like days eating this food off the trees. And then like most of the time when I actually would not have money like on me, or like I just wouldn't have cash or like whatever, it's just like whatever, like every single time something would happen that I go and buy my empanada with like my like last 200 pesos, and they're like, oh, do you want another one? And I'm like, I don't have money for another one. And they just like pop another empanada. Like they knew that I'm like, don't have any money and I'm starving, Empanadas, man.
No, it's good. You have it, guys.
It was like, you need another empanada.
Oh, I would love one, but no, guys.
But like, it's just like every single time,
Yeah.
Something happens that like people will feed you like in any kind of way.
I love food. Yeah, it tastes good, but like seriously, food brings people together. Like it doesn't matter like if you speak the same language or not. And that's kind of like why I love bringing food, because literally when I popped these open, it was just hilarious. I've never given food to a person and for them to like change their aura. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even you could just feel their aura like just change. Like seriously.
This felt like me, the baby food.
Bro,
God.
So I was in New York, and I'm gonna talk about this too. This guy playing chess, he's like, hey, you want to play chess? And I'm like, so I sit down, I'm like, heck yeah, dude, I got so much time to spare, so I sit down, and he goes, it'll cost you $5. I'm like, dang.
Play?
Yeah, to play chess. I'm like, dude, this old man. And so I was like, dude, what the heck? I'm like, all right. So then I was like, sure. And then I go, I don't have cash. He goes, do you want to get me a cheeseburger? And I was like, yeah, I'll get you a cheeseburger. So I got him a cheeseburger. He's sitting there eating. All of a sudden he starts opening up, and then I'm like cracking jokes. And then he's like, all right. So he lets me win. Or no. He teaches me, and then he like makes fun of me and then like kills me in the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, well, I don't have time for another game. I've been here for an hour. He goes, do you want to do me another solid? I'm like, what? Can you get me another cheeseburger? And I'm like, fuck. So I go back in. I'm like, grab a cheeseburger. And I talked to him for another like 20 minutes. And he was like, oh, you're a good cat. You're a good dude. I forgot what he says. And I was like, man, that was cool. And I was like, I've never done that before. Yeah. It was just, and I filmed the experience because I asked him like, yo, can I film you? Because you're kind of funny. Uh-huh. So I don't know. I think people like that, like just slowing down time for a little bit. Kind of like embrace what's out there. And I don't know, I feel like time is everything. Like as we were sitting here, I'm literally looking at the time like, what's next next class. He's got this guy doing these knee things still. Guy won't stop. He's like, look at number 9. He's like going back and forth. He's like, yeah. But I don't know, I think
you didn't do that station. I think it's your turn.
Nah. But I'm
10 high knees.
10 high knees.
And 5 drop squats.
I literally thought you said 10 high knees. I was like, what? But high knees, I got it.
High knees.
Got it, high knees. But anyways, this is so cool. I just wanted to like give some people an intro to you, so you can come back. Yeah. Because there's still more to uncover. Yes. And I think you have an interesting perspective, and I think you're just an awesome person to be around with. You make the atmosphere more fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I appreciate you jumping on, and I
appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So do you wanna how can people reach out to you?
Instagram, I guess. SEVA.LTU, SEVA.LTU. I spelled my name wrong the other day for my nephew. And so
how'd you spell SEVE?
SEVE, and I read it. I was like, SEVE, SEVA. And my sister just walked over to like look at the paper. And she was like, you spelled your own name wrong. And I was like, oh my God. I can't spell, so it's hard. Like I have to imagine it. But yeah, SEVA.LTU.
What's LTU?
Lithuania. Yeah.
Cool. That's right, wrapping it up. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for this. Thank you for F45, Mark. Thanks for Hannah filming us.
Thank you, Hannah.
Doing the BTS. But this is cool. I think this is going to be interesting, and we'll do more stuff. And hopefully I can travel somewhere and tag along for some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want to like leave my wallet at home.
Yeah.
and we'll film it. Yeah. And I'm like, Seva, you're like the empanada guy. Let me go take you.
No, I'm telling you, that would be so much fun.
Yeah. I know this place. There's empanadas on the ground. Like people eat half of it and throw it on the ground. We're going to go pick it up.
Finish eating them.
But
I'm surprised people don't do that in the US. The other day I left like half of the milkshake on like a side of the street, and my brother-in-law was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like leaving it for people whom I wanted, and he was like, and I was like, well, like people who like don't have money might want to finish that, and he was like,
it's gonna go bad.
And like I'm like, why wouldn't you want to finish that?
It's like walking around and you're just like, oh look, unfinished milkshake. I think someone left that
You
for me
could try a little
on a
bit.
hot summer day. This is fantastic.
Get out. I would finish it. I was just like, if I was
I'm gonna put you to the test. I'm gonna put you to the test.
She's gonna drop food all over and see what I pick
Well,
up.
I know where you live. I'm gonna just like hide stuff in the front. Me and Hannah are gonna go across the street. Or like, let's see if Sam picks this up.
I have to be hungry, but I would if I was hungry. I've been there.
Yeah, I would do the same.
Empanadas on the floors.
I like found this water. I was like so thirsty in Uruguay because I was biking the coastline of Uruguay, and I had my backpack and I couldn't bring much water. So then I was just like, I'm dying. I'm on a highway. It's like 90 degrees. I'm like sweating. So I ended up like taking a turn to this beach town, and I went down there, and none of the stores were open because the town was too small. They opened like specific hours, and I couldn't buy any water. And I just found these like huge bottles of like water just like sitting somewhere, and I was like, this is like but like I'll die if I don't drink.
Yeah.
So I was like I don't know, like whose water is this? Like I like kept on looking around. I was like, I hope no one sees me. And I just like went and started drinking that water, just like pouring it in my mouth. Could have been anything in there, but then I filled up all my water bottles with it too, and I was so happy that I found
should
that
go back to that place.
random water sitting around.
You're nuts. I love it though. Yeah, I'm gonna. I want you to keep traveling. I'm gonna set up like a little fun, and it's like, hey, keep SEVA going to like crazy adventures. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm dead serious.
So cool.
And then you'll just like film your adventure. And
Yeah.
stuff. Seriously, I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah, that would be so dope.
But anyways, but yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. And yeah,
I appreciate you.
peace.